Alright, Shalom. I gotta say, call Allah, Wahawala, which is all praise and glory in Hebrew to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kwakadash, Demon's Apostle, Elder Great Muslim, bless God, the elect, few sisters, and Islam foreigners, swagging us during the truth. My name is Kamafia from GMS Cleveland Branch, coming at you another video lesson. And this video is from Anton Daniels' channel, and as you can see the title, it says white men are terrified and jealous of black men. White women says they're done dating their own. And this right here signifies a falling empire right now. You know, because anytime like your woman wanted to side with the enemy, that means you're at a you're losing power, okay? Because guess what, women have no power, so they get with the men that has it. All right, and basically what's happening right now is Esau, the Most High, is relinquishing him of his kingdom, okay, and basically Esau's blessings coming to an end, okay, and our blessing is about to kick into effect, all right, and power is slowly but surely being bestowed upon, all right, the sons of God, the Israelites, okay, and Esau, he doesn't like that, man, okay, he doesn't like that. In fact, Esau is absolutely heartbroken and repulsed the fact that their women fantasize about being with us, all right, and we ain't just talking about no trailer park trash looking Edomites. We talking about top notch, thoroughbred, you know, cream of the crop, good looking Edomite women. They run and get with Jake, all right, and the Edomites, their own women that look really good, that wouldn't give them the time of day, they getting with Jake, man. All right, Jake, and I'm talking about from any other tribes, all right, from all 12 tribes, whether it be Ephraimites, so-called Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, okay, which is Simeon, Native Americans, which is Gad, you know, from any one of the tribes of the nation of Israel, the men. All right, Esau is he's mad as hell at that. In fact, especially with Jake. All right, Jake, you know, many been talking about on this video. This man gonna be talking about Southern Kingdom men, but all the tribe men, right? Esau, he calls his woman mud sharks when they want to get with Jake, when they want to get with Jake men. You know, and this question has been, or this right here has been popping up a lot, and like when they talk about male and female relationships, all right, that matter of fact, the highest interracial couples, all right, are Edomite women and Jake men, so-called black men and so-called white women. Okay, and matter of fact, the killing of, what's the name, Nolan Wells, all right, they killed him because an Edomite woman wanted to get with him, or girl, shall I say, wanted to get with that young man. Okay, so Esau, he's jealous, man. He's jealous, all right, and you know, he's infuriated, all right, out of his mind, the fact that he's losing to somebody that's less fortunate than him. Okay, Esau got all the power and wealth, status, but yet he can't seem to comprehend why his woman would rather choose somebody else over them, especially his arch nemesis being Jake, man, right? he can't fathom that. His woman want to be with us rather than them. And there's plenty of reasons we can name that, man. You know, the most common one is because, you know, Jake packing, right? And Jake know how to get down in the bedroom, right? And then you know, of course, Jake, man, come on now. We got more sauce, swag, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We're cooler, if you want to say that. Just keeping it plain. You know, we got melanin, I guess you could say that. All right, and we're more dominant and masculine. They always say that when it comes to Edomite men asking his woman why they would want to date you know, so-called black man, right? They'll say his women say because they're more masculine. Okay, they're more masculine, man. So Esau, your bitch ass, man. The time is up for you, bro. All right, all the signs are showing that you're at your end. Okay, and yes, your woman that's turning on you is a big part of your empire going down. All right, but I'm gonna play this video and then I'm gonna hit a couple scriptures. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
The other thing I've been noticing a lot on my content is that I'm getting a lot of racist comments. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of agree. Like, as a white woman living directly under a white man, you wonder why there's all these white women out here screaming and being Karens. It's because they're directly under the worst type of man, which is white man.
Damn, look at that. She going in.
I have never had my life threatened or attempted to be taken by anybody but a white man. And I dated the rainbow.
Damn, Esau, according to your woman, you ain't treating her right, man. Okay? You ain't treating her right, bro. And, you know what I'm saying? She's she's sliding over to the dark side. You know what I mean?
But yes, white men are terrifying. I agree. Will I ever remarry a white man or a man, period? No. But especially not a white man. No. Living under one directly for almost 3 decades is enough for me.
So I didn't realize prior to getting on social media that all women were the same.
And Edomite women always want to Jake men. Matter of fact, I'm seeing other videos going around now that not just Edomite women say they want Jake men. All right, start with so-called black men, right? You got East Indian women saying this, that they want to be with Jake men. All right, you got Arab women, Chinese women. So this goes to show you where we're coming up into our into our own power, man. All right, we're coming up. Okay, the Lord's making it known now, man. All right, we're about to rule next. Because again, like I said, women flock to men with status, with power, with positioning. Okay, with authority. All right, because women have no power themselves, so they go to the men with it. And they starting to see that Esau women is starting to see that his is starting to dwindle, man. He's starting to lose power. Okay, they see it
From all cultures and all races. I didn't know it. And the reason that I say that is because in the same way that white men are dealing with white women and the vitriol and hate of them putting y'all all in the same bucket, right? They don't say the culture of white men. They don't say the majority of white men. They don't say the white men that we've dealt with. White women that have been married to white men and that still date and is, in this example, under the thumb of a white man, is basically saying that we hate the very men that we procreate with, that we have sex with, that we date, that is the father of our children. And the reason why we're so angry and evil and upset and feminist is because we don't like our men. And even though we continue to date them, they're terrifying. And so I thought that before, listening to you guys tell your truths, I thought it was just black women in most instances, not all, but in most instances that we're dissing black men. But now, I am aware that a lot of you guys are dealing with the same problems that we're dealing with. But
Oh, yeah, it's Deuteronomy 37:2 coming to pass, where it says, Lord shall all the curses that we have, he gonna put upon our enemies. Okay? And our Jake, starting with Southern Kingdom women, right? Because those are the so-called black women. All right, can you look at the Northern Kingdom women? They're more attached. All right, to their tribe of men, right? The Latin tribes and the American tribes, but the nigga woman, starting with the American black woman, right? That bitch is off hinge. She's unhinged, man. Okay, and she was the lapdog for the so-called white man, even right now. Okay.
Put it on your shoulders. The reason that I have to put it on your shoulders is because you guys have had power for longer than we've had power in our communities because of slavery and all that other stuff. And I'm not running into victim Olympics, but what I am saying is I believe that your ancestors would be turning over in their graves if they had seen the way that white women are talking about you guys. Not only would they be turning over in their graves, but they would be so disappointed at the fact that y'all women are basically leveraging you guys in order to make you the villain and then capitalize off of every other group. What does that mean, Anton? It means this. Give me a little bit of rope. It means this. It means that white men largely are looked at as the poster child for what is wrong with America. Now, I tend to like America. I love America. The history, maybe a little bit dark, but what country's history isn't dark? And then through all of that, we've arrived to where us having the freedoms that we have governed by our Constitution, interpreted by the Supreme Court, and then also on top of that, the lack of censorship, which we fought through that over the last few years, but that's always going to be a fight. Anything worth having is worth fighting for, right? But my point is that with all of the things that you guys have endured through and fought for and stolen, or whatever it is that people want to describe, I think the weakest generation of men in all cultures exist here. But you guys are the granddaddy of it because your women are the ones that leapfrogged into feminism first. Your women are the ones that started to take you to child support court first and go into family court and use that as leverage to destroy you. Your women were the first ones to really drive you guys overseas into finding passport chicks, but then passport bros kind of made it popular like they always do. But I guess all I'm saying is when you look at the feminist movement that was hijacking the civil rights movement, and diversity, equity, and inclusion, and even their ability to be named as a minority because they are a woman and using black women to do so as opposed to children, you guys have completely lost your masculinity. Completely. They're online, they're bashing you, they don't care anything about you, they're talking negatively about y'all, and I'm just amazed at the amount of support that they get, almost from every culture, Asian, black women, so on and so forth. They are all in alignment to look at you guys as the poster children for what is wrong with America, and I just find it amazing.
I'm done.
I wonder if anyone else would admit, if you are a minority, that you had children with a Caucasian person so that your kids would have an easier life. And it's not so much, in my case, I'm from Northwest Indiana. There's a bunch of, I grew up with white people. You are a product of your environment, whether you believe so or not. So it's kind of like my preference.
Oh, yeah, this proves, too, that Esau, the Edomites run the world, okay? So-called Caucasian race, right? The fact that she's saying, I don't even know what nationality this woman is. It don't seem like she's just white. It don't seem like she's white. It's like she, I don't know, some type of Eastern European women or Arab or Morocco. I don't know. She don't seem like she's white. You know what I'm saying? But either way, she's saying about her kids will have an easier life if she got with a Caucasian or an Edomite man, right? That right there goes show you that who's running the show, all right? Who's running the world? And she's saying I can have an easier life if I just get with a so-called white man. My kids will have an easier life. That's the indicator right there.
But I also did it so that my kids would have a better life. They'd have different last names, not as common, so that their features were more aligned with the Caucasian aesthetic.
Do y'all actually believe that people have a better life or a different life if...
Hi, I'm John Maxwell. If you want to build wealth and keep your integrity, this message...
They are more white representing, and where does that come from, right? Because I personally, nor have I ever wanted my daughter or any of my brothers or anything like that, never wanted to be a white man. And it's not that being white is a bad thing, because, I judge people based off of content of the character and not the color of their skin. It's not that being white is a bad thing, but it's like I just love being me. I love being me. I love being in my space. I love the life that I've cultivated for myself. I love the success I was able to achieve. I love the love that I get out and about when I walk around every single day. And I'm wondering, is there that much of an advantage for being white or white representing outside of the slavery days, obviously, but into modern society and as of the recording of this video, is there that much of a benefit to being white representing to where people are literally not having children out of love, not being intentional when it comes to the children that they have financially, but is only choosing to have children based off of being white? Because I know a lot of white poor people, especially here in Michigan up north. It's a lot of poor white people, man, everywhere. And there's poor people everywhere in the world, but there's a lot of poor.
Just like me, she's gonna go through whatever. But then I had to learn that no, it's beautiful. Like, you have to get out of that mindset. Like, when I was a kid, I was told, don't go outside, you'll get too dark, kind of thing. And it was an insecurity of mine. And now it's not. Now I'm actually going out of my way to get spray tans and shit. It's crazy. And I really thank the Kardashians for that. They made the...
That's another thing too. See, you made our women have low self-esteem, and because you made what you look like the standard of beauty, and like, you know what I'm saying, our women hated themselves, because you projected that what we look like was basically shameful, all right, and damn near a curse, all right. So you brainwashed our women to think what they look like is the standard of ugly, right? It's not the beauty standards, I say. All right, and you did a good job because they believe that crap. So they so messed up now. But the tables being turned, and guess what? What we look like was always the thing to be. Okay, that was always the real beauty standard. Okay, now young women want to have what do you call it, shit, filler lips, a big butt. Cause you remember going back a lot of decades ago, 70s, 60s, and all that shit, 50s, the Leave It to Beaver days. You know, when Esau was in his golden age. Before then, having those features like the so-called black woman, Hispanic woman, those full lips and a big behind, you know what I'm saying? Them curves, having curves. Other nations, especially Edomites, they consider it to be out of shape. I mean, fat, right? Having curves considered to be being fat, or just not the thing to be. We look like monkeys and all that shit like that, man. What we look like was made fun of. They made fun of it. They ridiculed it. Now every woman, shall I say, wants to look like that. You can just see it, man. It's an oversaturated look. That you can go down there in Miami and stuff. Having the BBL. Gosh, we think the BBL came from? It came from our women just being built the way they were. Not every woman wants to have a BBL, big lips, right, and some type of tan looking skin, right? Because what? Jake men like that, okay? And it's crazy because our women are so fucking lazy now, where they doing the BBLs because they want to just work out and just naturally have it. They're too busy eating stuff in their mouth.
Dark hair and olive skin, dark eyes, and just they brought it. My children came about at the right time, not when I was growing up. So
and she's proving what I'm saying.
Yeah. And some people say that's self-hating. No, bitch, that's reality. Unless you've lived it, you don't understand. And I guess I'm wondering if anyone else has ever have felt the same way.
This is horrible. This is a horrible way to see life and a horrible way to think. But our children are the ones that's going to have to deal with her insecurities.
Done the same thing. And on the back end, there's some sacrifice to that. And because they're still in the middle, they're not fully this, they're not fully that. But in the end, you hope that you put them in a position where it's advantageous to them than it was for you. Because you just kind of have to understand what it is. The silent rules are. What the silent is just you know?
The ironic part about conservative white men caring about my sex life is that they are pushing white women away from that. White men are so preoccupied with, oh my god, there's gonna be a race war, and white women are gonna have kids with brown and black people, aka the great replacement theory. But genuinely, the most hilarious part about all of this is that through this behavior, through controlling white women, through literally commenting on every single post and calling me a bunch of different slurs like this, and then asking, why don't you date white men? Motherfucker, that's why! How do you think I don't date white men? Because a lot of you, especially conservative white men, treat me like fucking garbage. And this is a known thing. White women, we always talk about the fact that when we're on dates with white men.
I remember her. I did a reaction video.
Esau, you ain't big dog no more, bro. Okay? You ain't big dog no more. Your woman is talking bad about you, humiliating you on the internet. All right? You know, just belittling you. All right? And saying how much, you know, you're really jealous of your arch nemesis. All right? Which is the Jake man. Okay?
To her before. Her entire identity is white people are racist, white people are racist, white people are racist, white people are racist. She started off every single video with the same narrative.
We regularly get asked if we slept with a black man. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with this date that we're currently on? It's pure jealousy and rage. Or the fact that white conservative men make fun of leftist and liberal women for being conscientious and aren't good partners. Why would anyone want...
You ain't that guy no more, man. Esau, you are not that guy no more. When they used to put in or show on TV, like the man is most sought after, or the man that every woman wants, right? It used to be Caucasian man and say white man, but based on what we're hearing, it's not anymore. Not no more. So your ass is taking you're taking a seat back, man. All right, you second place now, bro. All right, you second place now. Jake, based on word from mouth, is the most desired man now. It really has always been that way, but because you had status and wealth, that kind of gave you a couple more points up. All right, it gave you attraction points more. But when you take away Esau's money and his money, you know what I'm saying, his status, what does he have? He ain't got shit, man. He definitely ain't got shit on the Israelite, man. All right, that's why in his own kingdom we have more influence. All right, and what they call that shit? Not credibility, but damn, what they call that shit? I guess you say charisma. All right, it's another word I'm looking for. I'm thinking of, but yeah, man. All right, your woman is gravitating towards us, and she's saying how much they despise you. You're like a bad taste in your woman's mouth right now. Like I said, this points out that you reached your end. You're reaching your end, bro. You're finished. All right, you're on the decline, and the Lord's about to clock you out, bro.
To marry you when you act like that. And that's the funniest part, is through their actions they are making this a reality where white men are losing white women, and it's entirely their fault because you treat white women like shit.
I don't suggest anybody.
That was man. Let me hit the scriptures now. Job 27:15. Those that remain on him shall be buried in death. His widow shall not weep, and his widow shall not weep. Read 13 verse. It says, "This is a portion of a wicked man with God, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of Almighty." So who's the wicked? The wicked is the Edomites. So, and you've been oppressing. You still oppressed to this day. All these unjustified killings, shootings of Jake, murders of Jake, Nolan Wells, most recent one. It is that your widows ain't gonna weep, man. I mean, your women ain't gonna feel sorry for you, bro. Okay? Your women ain't gonna feel sorry for you. Alright, as she sees you losing your grip. Deuteronomy 20:56. It says, the tender, and remember, Deuteronomy 37 says, all these curses shall come upon thy enemies. So I'm going to read up to the 20th first verse. It shall come to pass if thou, let me see. In verse 15 says, but it shall come to pass if thou wilt not listen to the voice of Yahweh thy God to observe, do all his commandments, statutes, which I command thee this day, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Right? And they're doing that. They're creeping up on the heathen and Edomites. All right, they're starting to fall upon them now. And then we're starting to get the blessings. Jake. Anyway, 56 verse says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which will not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. And that was literal too. I'm gonna pull this up. I had that screenshot. I typed in and said, in the ancient world were there women who lived so luxury their feet never touched the ground? This is Google. ChatGPT says, yes, ultimately royal women in ancient imperial societies live in such extreme luxury that they rarely, if ever, walked on public ground. They rely on human barriers, litters, and specialized transport. It says litters and palanquins, enclosed couch-like seats carried on the shoulders of enslaved people or servants were standard transport for elite women in Roman, Persian, Egypt, and India. And human carriers, extremely literacy and historical trumps from various empires record wealthy mistress being carried directly by servants across muddy streets, thresholds, or bridges to prevent their feet from touching common dirt. Wagons and chariots, elaborate culture vehicles like the Roman peloton kept high status women and princesses off the ground during elite women in Roman Empire. Princesses off the ground during civil processions and festivals. Mobility restrictions of status, seclusions of elites, many ancient Mediterranean, Near Eastern cultures, receptacle, upper class women live largely indoors within private quarters, minimizing any need to walk outside. Bound feet in the later eras, though originating in later and medieval China, Song Destiny, the practice of foot binding rendered elite women intentionally immobile, served as a permanent physical sign that a family was wealthy enough to keep a woman idle and carry rather walking or working. So this a woman, her feet not touching the ground, that symbolized what? Wealth and status. All right. Wealth and status. It's like I forgot what I typed in the Google search engine, but I basically typed this on like what Israelite women feet not touching the ground representing what, like wealth or whatever, or soft living, soft life. And it said, yes, Deuteronomy 28:56 uses the idea of a woman who is so rich that she would not touch the ground with her feet. Many Bible experts explain that she lived a life of high luxury where people carried her in a litter, a carriage, or sedan chair. Extreme luxury. The verse describes a high-class life where a Roman or a woman never had to walk on rough dirt, ride in litters. Scholars note that being carried meant using a litter or a ride on a animal so her feet stay clean. The main point, the verse is a sad. Oh, yeah, okay, that was it right there. Oh shit. I'm trying to put it in so you can see what it look like.
Palanquins. Palanquins.
Palanquins is a type of human power transport, specifically a carry box or bed carrying on poles by multiple bearers. It's how a woman was doing it, man. We had servants, and this is many amongst the richest or the wealthiest of our people. All right, because you always had a hierarchy and a social status of people's fortune, right? You had the middle class or the regular common people. Then you had the rich, and that was amongst all nations, even amongst our people. You had the rich Jakes, and you had the common people Jakes, man. Okay, the everyday person. Yeah, man, this was a sign of having much fortune. Okay, and again, not every woman in Israel, when it talks about Deuteronomy 20:56, the woman says the woman that's tender among you will not set her foot on the ground. That was mainly talking about the rich Jake women. Alright, that was married to kings and stuff, or just wealthy men in society, in our society. So that's what I meant by that. And let me finish this up. That wasn't the main point. I was just wanted to show you, highlight that, and show you what that meant. Okay. Her eye, it says, okay, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not eventually set her foot upon the ground with delicateness and tenderness. So I just showed you that, what that meant. All right. Her eye shall be evil towards her husband of her bosom. And what I displayed in that video, all right, Esau's woman, it has an evil eye towards him. She has a disdain for that dude, okay, and for her own man, and she just really dislikes him and has hatred for him at this time, because she's starting to see Esau is he's starting to befall. Okay, he's not on a high horse anymore. All right, and the Lord is making it known. He's making it known throughout the planet Earth that the so-called white man, he's on the decline. Okay. And like I said, the woman sees it first. Okay. There's trouble in paradise right now amongst the Edomites. And the family unit is not strong anymore amongst the Edomites. Okay. When the family unit is not strong, the nuclear, the family amongst the nation is not strong no more. That means there is a division. And the Lord said about a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. So the fact that Esau is not just divided amongst his own brethren, but with his women and child, because his kids is rejecting white supremacy, and his women is just rejecting him. All right. So much so that she is blatantly disrespecting him in front of the whole entire world, right? And saying how she desires to be with her man's enemy. She wants to be with him. So yeah, man. All right. Esau, like I said, this does nothing but signify that you are on your way out of rulership, and we're coming up next. We got next. Like my dude Zabak say, man. Okay, but with that, I hope I was edifying. We'll give all praise and glory to Yahweh Shem Shah. Jamal Spots, El Screen Missile, let's go to the leg. Few sisters, and it's like for the show.